Hey everybody! Do you know no restaurant opens its doors with the intention of lowering its standards? Every owner dreams of serving great food, delivering exceptional service, maintaining a spotless facility, and building a reputation that keeps guests coming back. In the beginning, that's usually exactly what happens. The opening weeks and months are filled with energy, recipes are followed precisely, managers are highly involved, checklists are completed diligently, and every detail receives attention. Standards are visible everywhere because everyone is focused on creating a great first impression. But over time, something subtle begins to happen. As a restaurant consultant, I have seen this pattern repeat itself across many different operations. I remember walking into a restaurant that had built a strong reputation during its first year. The owner couldn't understand why guest complaints were increasing, even though sales were still healthy. On the surface, everything looked fine. The dining room was busy, the staff seemed experienced, and the food looked presentable. But when we started observing the operation closely, we noticed dozens of small changes that had quietly accumulated over time. Prep procedures were being rushed during busy periods. Cleaning schedules were being completed on paper but not always followed in practice. Recipes that were once measured accurately were now being prepared based on memory. None of these issues seemed serious on their own, but together they had created inconsistency throughout the entire operation. The reality is that standards rarely disappear because of one major mistake, and I am going to repeat this again. The standards rarely disappear because of one major mistake. They fade through a series of small compromises. A task gets skipped because the restaurant is busy. A shortcut is taken because the team is understaffed. A procedure is ignored because nothing bad happened the last time it was overlooked. Each decision feels reasonable in the moment. The danger is that these decisions slowly becomes habits. What makes operational drift so difficult to detect is that it happens gradually. Nobody walks into work one morning and decides to lower the standard. Instead, the station that was once spotless becomes clean enough. The recipe that was once followed precisely becomes open to interpretation. The checklist that was carefully reviewed becomes a formality. Because the changes happen little by little, the team adjusts to them without realizing it. One of the biggest reasons this happens is familiarity. When employees perform the same tasks every day, they stop noticing small deviations. What once stood out as unacceptable begins to feel normal. I have often asked teams why a certain procedure wasn't being followed, and the response is usually the same. We have been doing this for months. The concerning part is that nobody can identify exactly when the change started. It simply became the new normal. Leadership plays a major role as well. Teams pay close attention to what managers consistently inspect and reinforce. In another restaurant project, we found that managers regularly talked about cleanliness and food quality during meetings, but they rarely followed up on the floor. The message was clear without anyone saying it out loud. Employees concluded that those standards weren't truly a priority. Once we introduced daily audits, coaching sessions, and accountability measures, performance improved almost immediately. The standards themselves hadn't changed, only the level of attention given to them had. Growth can also accelerate the problem. As restaurants become busier, add locations, or hire new employees, maintaining consistency becomes increasingly challenging. Systems that worked perfectly with a small team often struggle under greater complexity. Without proper training, follow up, and reinforcement, new employees develop their habits, and those habits eventually shape the entire culture of the operation. The encouraging news is that operational drift can always be reversed. In the restaurant I mentioned earlier, we didn't solve the problem through a major overhaul. We simply went back to basics. We retrained the team, reviewed procedures, reintroduced accountability, and ensured managers spent more time observing operations rather than assuming everything was being done correctly. Within weeks, guest complaints decreased, consistency improved, and the team's confidence returned. The lesson was simple but powerful. Standards are not permanent achievements, they are daily commitments. The most successful restaurants understand that excellence isn't something you establish once and then forget about. It requires constant attention, regular coaching, and leaders who are willing to notice small problems before they become major ones. The strongest restaurants are not the ones that never experience operational drift. They are the ones that recognize it early and take action before guests ever notice the difference. Because standards don't disappear all at once, they fade one shortcut at a time. Now you know the real deal. Take care of yourself.